Welcome back, Recliner Sports Reporters, to Keep the Change podcast. I'm Mac, and with me, as always, Mr. Roberto. How are you, my good sir? I am sorry about the Browns, man. Sorry.
Aside from that, I was doing good. I had moved on. I was just forgetting about it, putting it in the back of my mind, trying to look at the positives. Baker threw for 330 and 3 touchdowns, so maybe we can get another dub out of him and a couple more touchdowns, and I can start selling some of these rookie cards I stocked up on his when he's in Cleveland. I got a whole box of them.
Just getting ready to fire sale them all if he wins the Super Bowl.
Oh man, he got in a heartbeat.
Right? All right, buddy. Well, wild card weekend has finished, and not gonna lie to you, some ugly games just all
A lot
around.
of ugly
Like,
blowouts.
yeah, actually, I don't. The only close game was the Rams Lions game.
Yeah.
The only one.
Aside from that, no really exciting fourth quarters.
No, not at all. But that's going to take us to our divisional round. So we're going to give you our best bets for all four games. And we were just talking about this, ladies and gentlemen. There's only 7 more NFL games. We got 4 this weekend. We got the conference championships and then the Super Bowl. And then 7 months off until we get to watch the best sport in the world. But let's make the most out of this. So 7 more games means there's 7 more opportunities for us to win big here. And we got 4 chances this weekend, 4 cracks at breaking the bank. So let's go right down the board, buddy. Texans, Ravens, go ahead, start us off. Give us your best bets for this game.
So I was on DraftKings earlier today. They have the line at 9.5. And I don't see with the way that CJ Stroud is playing and the Texans playing and that offensive line that this game being a blowout. I I don't know 100% if the Texans are going to win. Hope they do. Got to pull for one of the our former Buckeye now, CJ Stroud, even though they just beat us. But I really like the Texans at plus 9.5. I like CJ Stroud's over on his passing yards. It's at 243.5. I think he's going to throw for 2 touchdowns, and 2 touchdowns means 2 extra points. So I'm going to throw the Fairborn over on 1.5 extra points in there too. Put those 4 together, it comes out to plus 750.
I like that one. I like to sprinkle the Fairborn extra points in there too. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. I think for me the best play of everything on this is the Texans points. I think the Texans can win this thing outright. My pick right now coming out of the AFC is the Texans after watching them again. And we talk about it week after week after week. And I just think there was maybe something that we saw in the draft. And yet here we are coming up towards the end of the season, and they have found their way onto our podcast once again.
We've been talking about the Texans all season. I think we've talked about the Texans more than either of our own teams this year.
We have. I'm pretty sure almost every week we are including the Texans and CJ Stroud in some sort of bets every single week. This is a revenge game for the Texans, man. The Ravens beat them in week 1. We're talking both teams are different teams than they were all season. But I think what I like in terms of the value here is, yes, they're both different teams, but the Texans are on a kind of a hotter streak right now that I think. I think the Texans have gotten drastically more better than the Ravens have. I think the Ravens kind of been consistent, and they had their 4 losses this year were weird wins, but I felt like even a couple of their wins were sketchy at best. The Texans have just been finding a way to kind of keep rolling, and they've been just stacking them up, and we're able to put together right now a really great second half of this season. So I think, to me, the best bet of this is the Texans plus 9.5, plus 9, whatever you're going to get it at for your book.
The other thing to think about in there, I know everybody gets excited about a first round bye in the playoffs. But you also have to remember week 18, the Ravens starters didn't play much at all that game. So they haven't played meaningful football now in over, what, going on 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, and they've been partying on
That's
OBJ's
enough.
boat.
That's enough time for some rust to build up on them breaks right there. All
This
it
is
takes is just a little bit. If they jump out and they come out rusty and Houston jumps down their throat, gets up 10, 14 points in the first quarter, it may be too much to come back from because Houston can score with the best of them.
yeah, I think that's the thing about Houston is, they can air it out, they can run it. Um, they have CJ Stroud. Their defense plays well enough. This is again, they're really pretty good all around team. Player props wise, what I'm liking is over on Nico Collins yards, and I am also gonna take a Nico Collins anytime touchdown. So I'm taking this week. I'm gonna take a one anytime touchdown per game. My one anytime touchdown for this one is gonna be Nico Collins.
Oh
And
yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on that. That's a fun bet to get in on. In
right,
4 games, that's realistic.
4 games, 4 touchdowns, and you already know 49ers one who we're taking. So I mean, really, it just comes
That's
down
easy.
to you just got to get 3 more out of there. Um, no, and then I like CJ Stroud over on his passing touchdowns. 1.5. I think he hits that, and I like your yards.
That's at plus money right now too.
Yep, and I like your yards too. Adding that together, that's a pretty solid parlay. Just those two together, if you want to play something safe. So, um, all right. Anything else on this game?
No, I'm excited to see what the rookie keeps doing moving forward.
Let's go. Let's go Texans. All right. Um, Packers 49ers. So
Another
there's no
big
doubt.
line.
Yeah, this is huge. This is a big line. And there's no doubt, right, that the 49ers are the better team. Okay. But don't be surprised here if Jordan Love figures out a way. I knew they were going to beat the Cowboys. All right, let's be clear on that. We knew
Yeah,
they were going to beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys were already beat before the game started. That was just already going to happen. But what I did see out of this Packers team was Jordan Love looked really, really good. And their defense played well up until they kind of started letting the Cowboys get back in it. But you look at this Packers team and they're kind of getting hot at the right time. And we're also now talking about a 49ers team who has been known to kind of fall apart in certain games. So, um, talk to me. What are you feeling for this one?
yeah, it's another one, a big line. It's a 9.5 on DraftKings currently. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout. I honestly think that the Packers could find a way to come away and win this game. I'm not confident enough to take the money line, but at plus 9.5, I love the Packers on this one. I like Jordan Love's over on passing yards. I think it's sitting around 248. Aaron Jones just finds a way to get in the end zone 3 times last week. I think he does it again this week. And Devontae Wicks, receiving yards, 34.5. I like that one too. And you can always sprinkle on a CMC touchdown every game and just feel comfortable with it.
Just a little sprinkle. Yeah, that 248 for his passing yards, it's good because 4 of his last 5, he's went over
Yeah,
that
yep.
comfortably. So that 248, that I like that. I like locking that in. And then if you look at his touchdowns too, he's went over 1.5 on all 5 games, and he's went 3 touchdowns in 2 of the 5 games. So 1.5 touch again. Another one for Jordan Love. Pair up those um, passing touchdowns and those yards with that. Um, yeah, I think the safe bet is the Packers points. I mean, on this one, watching the way the wild card games played out, I don't see these blowouts happening again. I could be totally wrong, but I don't see it happening like that. So I think a little bit of the underdogs, keeping the points for the underdogs this week. I think that's going to be my kind of model as we go through the weekend here. Specifically on Saturday, I think both dogs here. I really kind of like the points on both these.
Hmm.
So uh, I'm really curious to see how Brock Purdy's going to play here. I think a really edgy bet here is Brock Purdy to throw an interception. I just some tells me he might have just one of those. The stage gets real, the bright lights get bright, stage gets big, and he has a rough go. Again, 49ers might still win, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets a little tough for Mr. Purdy. And then, yeah, the last one, like you said, C-Mac anytime touchdown. So that'll be my second leg of my anytime touchdown. So we have Nico Collins and Christian McCaffrey as we head into the Sunday games. All right. Any other things on this one before we wrap this one up?
Nah, just excited for it. Should be a good nightcap.
Hope again, right? Another great Saturday
Just
evening
give us
game.
some good football games.
All right. Next up, we have Buccaneers versus the Lions. And just so everyone is
Baker,
aware,
Baker, Baker, Baker.
the weather, the weather will not be playing any sort of impact in this game because, as Todd Bowles has reminded reporters who were asking about how he was training his players to prepare for the weather, this game is, for everyone who doesn't know, is indoors. Detroit has an indoor stadium. They're
No.
inside. So as Todd Bowles said, he said, we're going to be outside for 20 seconds. So he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm supposed to
The
prepare for
guys
that
will be all right.
20 seconds. That 20 seconds might make a difference, I guess. But this
Yeah.
is, wow, talk about, come on. I mean, I wouldn't say we're $1 million reporters, but even I that know that was a dumb question. So this
Yeah.
game is inside. There will be the weather will not play a factor
Mhm.
in this. But talk to me, what will play a factor in this game? This is a good game. This is a great game. I watched firsthand the complete epic crash landing of the Philadelphia Eagles, who I feel like have been just falling for the last month and a half. That was the longest fall I've ever watched for them to finally just land and burn. And I saw a pretty impressive Buccaneers team, which, again, Tampa Bay is always going to be tough to play. It's a night game in Tampa Bay that fell right into the Bucs' hand. How will they handle this on the road now, who they haven't been that great on the road, against a really great and tough Lions team who has a point to prove in riding the motions of their fans, and now they're going to get a home game. Talk to me. How do you see this one playing out? What are your best bets on this one?
And I've been taking the points for the underdogs the first two games. I like the underdog to win at this game. I'm taking the Bucks money line. I think Baker's got those guys playing well. They're playing for each other, and they're just playing good football right now. Defense plays tough. Antoine Winfield Jr. just flies around the field. Love watching him play. But I like Baker to hit the over on his passing yards at 251, over 1.5 touchdowns, over 8.5 rushing yards, and Kate Oaten to have over 30.5 receiving yards. If you were to parlay those all together, comes out around plus 16, plus 1700. Or I feel like those are four pretty good bets you could place to get some value just individually.
I like it. Um, I'm gonna go on the other side of this thing, man. I've been all in. I've been very open. I've
Hey,
been
I
all in
know
on
I knew we were going to disagree.
yeah,
You said last week you think the Lions are going to win
yeah.
it all. So
I've been all in on these Lions. And the Rams, that was a tough game for them because you're talking about the Rams who have turned it up ever since they got cut back. And they're a whole totally different team than what they were at the beginning of this season. And I thought that was a, Super Bowl contending team right there in the Rams. So for them to win a close one, a gritty one, and to come away with a victory there shows again the tenacity and like the perseverance that this Lion team has because of how well they've been coached. The points are wide on this one. This one to me, I feel like if I'm a gambling guy, the Bucks points really is the way to go, especially since you look at the Lions and the way they've kind of played their last couple of games. We're talking about some close games. And even the 3 points, I thought they had that locked down. But here's the difference here. The Eagles were bad. Okay. The Eagles were bad. I thought, maybe they turn around this game. The Lions aren't the Eagles in my eyes. So you look back at the first time these two teams matched up, it was 20-6. You look back at a couple of the Buccaneers games that they had where they needed to win to finish it out. You got 9 points, you got 13 and a loss. Okay. To me, I see this thing as the Lions doing kind of what they did in the first time around. Again, with the assumption that this is not the Philadelphia Eagles who decided they don't want to run the ball anymore and gave up on the run. And then defensively, you wash it. I mean, again, I had the bird's eye view up in section double D. All right. I could see everything. They gave up the middle of the field and just let Baker Mayfield hit crossing routes and deep posts and intermediate digs all night. I mean, I literally am sitting up there. I'm like, the middle of the field's wide open, and Baker just picked it apart. I doubt that. I don't think that the Lions are going to play like that. So I'm going to take it here and I'm going to rock with the -6.5. And I'm rocking back in with the Lions. That's my pick for this one. Because again, you can't take the money line on that; it's just too wide. So I'm gonna stay true to my boys with Detroit. I'm gonna take the -6.5. Now, in terms of player props, okay, the ones that I'm liking here, my anytime touchdown, Montgomery. He's gonna be my third leg now into all this. Montgomery, I love the way he's running the ball. I will tell you this: the Buccaneers look like they stopped the Eagles on running the ball. They look like they did really good. They only put up 45 rushing yards, right? But the Eagles only ran the ball 15 times. The Eagles started the game, run play 8 yards, run play 3 yards, and then 4 pass plays in a row to a 3 and out. And then didn't really run the ball the rest of the night. The Detroit Lions know how to run the ball. So I don't think they're going to give up on the run very easily. I think they're going to really, really work and work and work and pound and pound. I mean, we've seen the Lions run the ball even when they shouldn't be running the ball. So I'm liking the Lions running the ball, and I like Montgomery here to score at least an anytime touchdown. Jared Goff, I think he gets 2 passing touchdowns, and we'll partner that with Baker Mayfield 2 passing touchdowns. So put them both. I think both those guys
Okay.
get there too. So I do think Baker gets 2 in there. Lions are the last couple they've been giving away some points, so I don't think that the Bucks are going to have a shutout night, but I do see my best bet of this here as I do see the Lions winning by 7. That's what I'm picking this one for.
I like that. Another one, good one on the Lions that I liked, I forgot to actually mention was I've been a big Sam Laporta fan all season.
Yes.
I think his receiving lines at 34.5, 36.5. It was just over, just under 35. Either way, I like the over on that.
And his receptions too. His receptions usually go off around
Yep.
4.5, 5. I like taking those two. All right. Anything else on this game?
No, I think that's going to be I think that ends up being a shootout where we come down to a last minute drive, one way or the other. I think whoever has the ball last in this game ends up winning.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the way that it's kind of been going off, right? Like you just see it, and you're like, the line. That's how the Lions have been playing these kind of last drives. But I could also see it playing out the way they did in the first matchup, which is why I'm taking what I'm taking here. All right, let's take it on to our last game, the game that the NFL is forcing down our throats.
Overall,
I think it's total crap. That game in Buffalo should have been played in the snow. I think the Steelers have a better chance. The NFL is doing everything they can to make sure that this game was going to happen. And here we are, and we're forced to watch it. And honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. This is the first time that you're ever going to hear me say it. Let's go Chiefs. I am so in on the Chiefs on this one. I don't even want to see. I hope it just all comes crashing down for the Bills. And the only reason I'm saying that is because they moved the game. And I know, whatever. But I heard it was the state of New York that moved the game. The mayor or whatever decided that it wasn't safe enough or blah, blah, blah. I don't care. The game should have been played. I don't care if there was any fans in the stands. You play the game. You give both teams the chance. You don't say, oh, let's wait for perfect football. Well, this is football. Okay, go get yourself a dome if you want to not worry about the elements. But, they blamed their loss against the Bengals last year on the weather, and you forget that the Bengals had to play in the weather too, and they just wanted to make sure this game played. But because of that move, I respect the Chiefs for at least playing in negative 29-degree weather. I respect them for sticking that through. Um, and if this thing does turn cold, which I'm thinking if you're the Chiefs, you're kind of hoping it does, because you showed that the cold don't really matter to you. The Chiefs
Mhm.
really they look like it was 100 degrees out there, the way they were still slinging that rock and playing their style of football. They didn't change a thing. They didn't change a thing. Receivers still drop passes. Pacheco still ran the ball hard. They didn't change a dime. So you're looking at Chiefs +3. Give me Chiefs +3 on this one. And that's really going to be the only, like, my big bet that I'm going to place. I'm like, my nuke it bet for this one is Chiefs +3. I'll get in my player props after I hear from you. Let me hear. What do you think on this one?
Man, this game could go either way. And honestly, I'm still excited about it. I wish they would have made him play in the snow as well. But I get you can't play a game in a blizzard when you just had 50 something people die in one last year in the same city. From it like non-football, just a regular person standpoint, I get it. But damn, did I want to see that game and all that snow. That's just, I mean, that's fun to watch. It'd be fun to play in to a certain extent as the players too, but I would have enjoyed watching that game as well. Disappointed it got moved, but Steelers lost either way, so I don't care. I was happy. Personally, I'm gonna stay away from the money line or the spread on either side on this game. I bet you can go ahead and put Josh Allen down for an anytime touchdown. The guy's just a big athlete that likes to run the ball, isn't afraid of contact. And if they get down close to the goal line, they're going to sneak it. Or we saw last week, he's athletic enough and fast enough, he can break it for 50 plus yards and run it down the field. The other thing I like, his overline is right about 225. I like the over on passing for Allen there. Mahomes is, there's an alternate line you can get at 229.5. I like the over there. And I like both tight ends with 50 yards. Kelsey and Kincaid, both sides of the ball. Both these quarterbacks like to use their tight ends as their security blankets. Both of them are guys that just have a knack for finding a way to find holes in the defense and just get chunks.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one, with the tight end line, especially since Kelsey's kind of been so quiet. He's kind of due for a big night here. And he's just been consistent all season long. Um, my big one here, I'm riding Pacheco, man. I'm riding Pacheco. The announcer said it best. He runs like he's mad at the ground. I mean, the dude just it's like he's just curb stomping grass. Um, so I'm taking his over on yards, and he will be my final leg of my anytime touchdown parlay, and he will be Isaiah Pacheco will come that in. So that is Nico Collins. This is my anytime touchdown parlay for all 4 games, one from each game. I'm rocking Nico Collins, Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, and the last one. I'm now forgetting what the last one was. I don't know why.
Christian McCaffrey.
Derek, that was right. How can you? Because it was too easy.
Yeah.
It's going off at -500. And C-Mac, given that. So that's C-Mac, Pacheco, Montgomery, and Nico Collins. That is my anytime touchdown. That's going to bring you at plus 925. Plus 925. So sprinkle a little bit, 1.1 unit on that, and give yourself a nice little payday if that hits, and then just enjoy and sweat that out. All right, buddy. Well, any other final things as we move on, as we wrap up for the evening?
And I've just been sitting here in the back of my head, kind of putting mine together, my anytime touchdown parlay for this game. And I almost put Nico Collins on my parlay that I already have going. So I'm going to ride with you on the Nico train in that game. I'm sticking with Aaron Jones in the Packers Niners game. I feel like he's in the end zone there. I
And
am,
you're gonna get good value with that too, with the Aaron
yeah,
Jones. A lot better value than C-Mac. C-Mac, it's minus 500 right now for him to
will
score.
make a little bit of a difference. In the Tampa Lions game, I'm actually going with running back from the other side, Rashad White.
Nice.
And I think Dalton Kincaid gets in the end zone this week. So I'm taking a tight end for the fourth one. That should put you up some pretty huge value there on that one.
That's big time. You're looking at a big time sprinkle a little bit. Enjoy it. I mean, we're getting into this is it. This is the last. You're looking at the last couple times here. You have 3 more weekends of football here. 3 more weekends. That's it. And the game, you get
Gotta
less
enjoy.
games, and there's less games each weekend after this. So just remember that. All right. Um. All right, buddy. Well, any other final thoughts?
No, just been enjoying the ride. Ready for these last few weeks. I'm excited now that I just found out you're coming up here next month.
Yeah,
So,
be up. I'll be up there sooner than I thought for the Arnold Classic or Arnold,
hey,
whatever it is. I know I got to
yeah.
hit the gym up. I can't go looking all puffy. Got to go. Um. All right, buddy. Well, hey, it was thank you as always. It was great talking with you. Everyone, best of luck to you on your bets. Also, head on over to SoBet, download the app. You can find the SoBet app in any of your app stores or Google Play stores, or you can the link tree in our bios has the link to the app. But also enter code RSR. If you enter code RSR, then you can gain access to exclusive sports content from over 50 sport content creators. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate the support. And remember, keep the change.